Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and welcome back to yet another Ninjago video onto the channel today. Now, that thumbnail and that title is the truth. And I hate saying this. This is a video that I personally did not want to make, but because of how Crystallized ended, I basically had no other choice. I'm tired of the main ninja. I just want them to go away. I don't like them anymore. Now, you may be wondering why in any way, shape, or form could I hate the current ninja that we have? Because, personally, their characters are so bland. They're bland and boring now. I mean, this has been a thing that's been going... This is an issue that's been going... that I've had with the current direction of their characters for years now. They just don't give them enough... How do I put this? They either don't give the main ninja enough screen time to properly develop a storyline around them, or their direction is so bonkers that it takes me out of it, you know? It just takes me out of the experience. Like Lloyd. I know I am not a big fan of Lloyd's character direction, especially from season 8 onwards, where they basically made him the new Jay, where he's just basically a simp for Harumi for essentially no reason. Yeah, that was kind of the start of it, because they pretty much degraded Lloyd in my eyes. They made Lloyd back then he was strong, but he still struggled in areas. Like, I still liked the character of Lloyd because it showcased his struggles, but he didn't focus on one particular one. It kind of went through a little. It just, how do I put this? It didn't seem like it was focusing on one issue and one issue alone, and rather attack the multitude of issues. Whereas with the direction with season 8, Lloyd and onwards, they only are managed to do one thing and one thing only. They won't shut the hell up about the stuff with Harumi. I'm basically like Akita. I'm basically bored to death with the lame ass stories about lame Harumi that I could honestly give no fucks for. It's boring to me. The Lloyd and Harumi story it's been dragged out longer than it should have. Especially with how it ended, I'm pretty sure a lot of you will kind of at least see where I'm coming from with this. Let's move on to Nia. She had arguably one of the best possible conclusions ever with Turn of the Tide. If she left the series after Turn of the Tide, I would have been amazed, because it made her character would have been full circle. But obviously, with Ninjago being Ninjago, of course they had to bring her back. Which I already knew was kind of a wishy-washy idea in the first place. But now, it's like they don't know what to do afterwards with the character of Nia. It's kind of bringing me back to Lloyd's case, and I think I've mentioned this multiple times on the channel before, where I mentioned there was that scene where Lloyd is with the first Ninjutsu Master, his grandfather. And I will still and always firmly believe he should have went with the first Ninjutsu Master and died right there. Because if you don't have any future direction with a character, there's no point in making the character exist. There's no point for that character to exist if you don't have any future directions for them. And I think that's the problem with the writers. They don't know when to properly end a character. They don't know when to say, this is where their character arc ends, we gotta say goodbye. They have to bring him back some way, shape, or another. And I understand that it's a kid show, but that is not an excuse for bad writing and laziness. That is never and ever an excuse. And what they did with Nia was basically criminal. They didn't do jack shit with her. She had like this sort of mini arc where she chose to rediscover herself, but it just kind of gets thrown away afterwards. And it also doesn't help that she seemingly somehow is getting her powers back when I don't really think she should have. Plus, they basically just made her weak again. Like, why? You basically did all of that character development, and then she just ends up back where she started all the way back in the pilots in season 1. Like, what the hell? Come on. Jay, I already talked about, a few times, but Jay has just been annoying. He's annoying in post Marchidione. All he does is fawn over Nia. I mean, to be fair, he did that in Wilfilm, but they cranked it up to 11 in the Wild Brain era. They cranked it up to the point where it's basically just straight up obnoxious. It's just like, I don't give a shit about your relationship. Stop trying to force onto me that, oh, these guys are in a relationship. I know that, and I don't give a fuck, so fuck off, okay? Sorry if I'm ranting a little bit, and I'm going off the rails here, but I have to say this because this is really getting on my nerves. Zane, this really hurts me, but Zane just never really went anywhere. Now, you could argue that's been an issue since about season 4. I mean, he has had its moments there. It's like, he's a good... They made him a comedy relief character, which is fine, but the problem is that we have seen before that Zane used to be a rich, deep, complex character, to the point where he was actually the best written out of the OG Ninja in the early seasons. He was easily like the best written out of all of them. And just to see that being reduced to just comedy, it's just like, why? Why? I just wish they would do more with him. And also stop freaking killing him, or at least attempting to kill him, simply because he's a robot, because that is robot abuse, and that's robotist. That's like the robot's version of robot racism. I understand why they do it, but I feel like that's just a cheap way of adding gore, which it's not really gore, but I air quoted that because they make it seem like it's gory when it's really not. And it's really a cheap ass excuse to showcase brutality when Lloyd versus Garbodon in season 8 literally exists. I'm saying, if you can do that with the human characters, you can do it with some of the others. You could do it with Kai, you could do it with Nia, you could do it with Jay, you could do it with Cole. Why are you constantly doing it on the robot when it's been done to death so many times to the point where it's not even considered dramatic anymore? It's pretty much almost insulting at this point. And now we're on to Kai. Kai, I actually kind of like his character direction, but I do know that a lot of people really don't like his character direction, because it's kind of like how I viewed with Zane, where to them, Kai used to be rich, deep, and complex, and now he's reduced to comedy. And like I said before, the problem is not the comedy, it's that you just don't attempt. There's no attempt to try and do anything with him. I'd rather have you try and fail than to just not try at all. It just seems like they aren't even trying to make these characters rich, deep, and complex anymore. They're not even trying. Because if I'm being honest, the only ninja who's actually benefited from Wild Brain is Cole. He's the only one that's benefited in it. And even then, can I say it's like a substantial benefit? No, not really. I mean, sure, there was Master of the Mountain, but that's about it. That's about it. Other than that, what else can you really say? And then when you take all of this into account, it's especially with knowing that these characters used to be so rich, so deep, so complex, and they're utterly reduced to just a shell of their former selves, it honestly makes you just want to put them out of their misery. Now, I heard that this is a rumor because I remember seeing what is it, Krusty783's video about the whole bringing in the new characters and shit like that. Um, and if Ninjago can do that, I'll be happy. But that's basically what I'm saying. They need to introduce brand new ninja. Um, and I've actually had this idea in my head for a while, but I don't know if you guys want to see it. But I have this idea in my head about like an alternate ending of Crystallize, where the ninja actually retire from their duties as ninja and pass them on to the new ninja. So if you want to see that be written, then just then you can tell me, hey, I would actually want to see where your story direction goes, or something like that. But honestly, I just can't like the original Ninja anymore. They've bored me now. They're reduced to husks of their former selves, and the only thing that will save them in my eyes is to reduce their screen time, so that I can, in a sense, not really forget about them, but in a sense, just to sort of let those characters live their lives and just move on. I hate that this video had to be a rant, but I had to get it off my chest. So, anyways, what do you guys think about whatever the hell this video was? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel by clicking on the red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to receive every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!